going on, everybody? Welcome to the Locked In Sports Podcast. I'm William Locke, and joining me today, as he does every single Major League Baseball episode, is Luis Barranco. Luis, the All-Star break is behind us. The second half is right outside the window. How you doing?
How are we doing? It is Wednesday night. We are talking MLB. Well, one of the best podcasts of the year. We can talk about the All-Star Game, Home Run Derby. It's typical baseball weather down here in Florida. You wake up to rain, and then you get a nice humid day. So it is what it is. But how have you been? No Columbus Explorers this week? Or y'all on vacation?
No, we're still going. Practice Tuesday, practice Thursday, games on Saturday. Actually, the playoffs are coming up soon. I think we have a bye this week. No games on Saturday, actually. So I think we're doing like a coaches versus players games. I don't know how they're going to organize that. I just saw it on the schedule. We'll see what happens, but I might be breaking the cleats out this weekend.
You might be breaking out the cleats out this weekend. What are they pitching? 70 miles an hour? 80 miles an hour? Like
It's maybe a little bit low. Oh, we actually do have one dude that throws pretty fast, probably for his age. I mean, he's like 12, probably like close to 70 miles an hour. I'm not sure exactly, but we'll see. I got the tendonitis that I'm recovering from, so I can't go full effort.
How do you feel about the hitting? I mean, I remember the last time, not to call you out, we were at Sluggers down in Chicago, and we ramped up the cage up to 80, 90 miles an hour. And, it was a tough sight for everybody.
I didn't get in the box. It was ridiculous. It was going super fast, and we were like 0.5 feet away. I wasn't going to swing at 90 mile an hour cheddar and sluggers.
You know who would have done that, though?
No, who?
Armand. Armand was like, "Oh, I can hit a 90 mile an hour fastball."
Yeah.
You see, a typical Armand thing to say, and I know Armand's probably not going to listen to this part of the podcast, but if he hops on and listens to it. Last time when we were in Boston, this is about a month ago, when we went to the Red Sox game. We're walking down Back Bay, going to dinner, and it's me, William's girlfriend, and William, and Armand's like, "Oh yeah, like I benched 315," and I'm like, "What do you mean you benched 315?" Like,
I remember this. Yes,
and Armand is like, Armand is just like, he's the king of unlucky injuries. It's not like he like purposely gets hurt or he tries to get hurt. They just like happen. Like all of Armand's injuries are just crazy.
He got a concussion on the rowing machine at his school because they put it too close to the wall and he hit his head.
And then there's the other one when I'm not gonna put him out. That's it for him to come on pod, or if he wants me to share it one day, is when we played it was semifinals our senior year of semifinals of region back home for soccer. That is a story to listen to. So
I don't even know that story. We don't need to rehash it on this episode.
No, we don't. So it is what it is.
So yeah, I'll be getting the cleats on this weekend potentially. We'll see. I've obviously done softball, but that is pretty easy because they let you hit. I haven't faced real live pitching in a long time, so it should be fun. I'll report back on the next episode. We got a fun one scheduled today. Obviously, we had the All-Star game. We had the Home Run Derby. We'll talk about that a little bit at the top. Quick recap. Obviously, don't need to go into too much detail. And then we got our MLB Trade Deadline Preview. The trade deadline is July 31st at, I believe, 6 p.m. Eastern time, last day of the month. So the rumors are swirling. Luis is the king of rumors. He loves reading through trade rumors. So he's listed a bunch. We have the top 50 trade potential dudes that are going to get traded from the Athletics. So we're going to go through that list. A lot of them won't end up getting traded. Like they have a lot of Red Sox, for example, that's probably outdated at this point. But we'll go through that list. We'll talk through the latest rumors. We're going to go through categories of who's selling, who's buying. We're going to get you set for the deadline. Obviously, we'll talk more about the trade deadline as we get closer to it in the coming weeks and everything, but should be a very fun one. Before we get to the deadline, though, Luis, you want to talk through the All-Star game, the Home Run Derby? I mean, we went to a swing-off last night. We had the big dumper win the Home Run Derby. It was a successful All-Star week, I think.
Can we just talk about MLB? Give a round of applause right now. Like, if you had, like, a whatchamacallit, a soundboard, I think the applause would go off right now. But what a week it was for MLB. I mean, the Home Run Derby was a success other than my guy Jazz, which I know I'm going to have to answer the questions about Mr. Jazz Chisholm Jr. hitting only 3 home runs, matching his jersey this weekend. It was a tough scene. And then we got to talk about.
We got a new meme from that, or a new GIF of Judge and Fried looking like, oh, what's going on here? They're like, oh, and then he said afterwards, he wasn't trying to change his swing. He was just trying to hit line drive, or he's trying to hit home runs, but he wasn't doing anything crazy to adjust his swing, which fair enough. I mean, I'd rather obviously Jazz produce for the Yankees than in the home run derby, but it was a little rough to watch that one.
It was more than rough. Like, you understand how rough that weekend that was? Like, as a Jazz Chisholm Jr. defender, like, Twitter was just straight memes. Like, even Yankee fans could not defend him on Twitter. But let me just give you a whole myth. Let's debunk a myth about the home run derby. You know, last season, out of the 8 hitters, 5 of them who participated saw an increase in their WRC plus after the event. So, like, this whole myth, it's like one of these like tales that, oh, the home run derby, you win it or you go nuclear and then you have this huge slump. Like, statistics show differently here. But it was a great event. The one thing I did not enjoy, we have to talk about, is the bonus round. I know you're probably going to touch on the whole Brent Rooker versus Cal Raleigh, which I have my notes about that, about being an inch, which size matters. An inch does really matter here. So that, but like, I did not like the bonus round. I feel like the bonus round really, is really not fair because, okay, you have 40 pitches, not 40 pitches, 40 swings. You get 40 swings for 3 minutes. And then you get this bonus round, which pretty much it's 3 outs, no timer, and you can just swing only when you want to. So I feel like, for example, not calling out Buxton, which Buxton had an interesting strategy that he had his third base coach, I believe his name is Tommy Watson, throw. He was throwing about 70, 80 miles an hour, and his whole strategy, they said on the telecast, was to not swing as hard, but let the ball do the work coming in, which makes sense. But that dude went nuclear in the bonus round. Like, if I'm a player, like, yeah, I go do my 40, but I'm taking my sweet ass time during the bonus round because there's no timer and I can just wait for the perfect pitch.
Yeah, I would do the same. And there's always the arguments you see of, oh, we missed the non-clock era before we put a clock on this thing. And I just feel like that's a bit of nostalgia. Everyone always pulls up the Josh Hamilton clips, but like that was a generational performance. It's not like that was happening very often. And frankly, like when we didn't have the timer and we would have dudes standing there for the rounds would last forever because they would just, as you said, like take their sweet time because it's really hard to swing a bat 100 times or whatever in or not 100 times, but like 50 times in a 3-4 minute span. Like it's exhausting. So I don't know if the clock is the answer or if getting rid of the clock is the answer. I will say like the home run derby is exhilarating in the first couple batters. I think 8 people in the event. If you're one of the first 2 guys to go, there's a lot of pressure on you because you're getting the show started. James Wood was the first one to go this year. And then as the thing goes along, it's easy because it is very repetitive. It's not like the slam dunk contest, which has its flaws. Don't get me wrong. It's not like the slam dunk contest where guys are doing, or at least attempting to do unique dunks every single time. The home run derby, it's kind of like, it's a little repetitive in the sense that, it's a 2.5 hour event. By we're an hour and a half in. I'm like, all right, like, I've seen these home runs. I get it. It's fun, but it gets a little numbing. When you got dudes like O'Neal Cruz hit the ball over 500 feet, that'll certainly pique your attention. But it's easy to tune out in kind of the middle chunk of the home run derby and then tune in for the final. That was at least my viewing experience. That's kind of been my viewing experience. So I do think there is room for them to tweak it and try to make it engaging throughout. I don't know. Maybe I sound like a Gen Z or super short attention span, but
you sound like I mean, I'm a boomer. I prefer the old thing because
you're not a boomer. What are you talking? You have boomer take.
Boomer take. I prefer the old. I was nostalgic about the Bobby Abreu in 2005 in Detroit, the Ryan Howard in Pittsburgh, Josh Hamilton in New York. I think Vladimir Guerrero won the one in San Francisco. Like
Robbie.
those were nostalgic. Robinson Cano too. That was also a great one. But I mean, it's hard swinging first, and I feel like James Wood didn't get the benefit of the doubt swinging first. Definitely, it leans into hitters like Brent Rooker, who, man, what a swing. Like
Yeah.
watching him like just swing the ball is just so textbook and just it's beautiful in comparison to guys like O'Neal Cruz and Junior Caminero, who are just basically like exit velo merchants. Like every single ball Junior Caminero was hitting was like 115, 110 off the bat. I'm surprised that nobody died in the Shackers.
That one kid in left center robbed the home run.
Oh, you know what's gonna happen with that kid, right? You could go ahead and clip this up, but I guarantee you, like in like 10 years, we'll be talking, having a beer or something. We'll be like, hey, ESPN will be like, hey, that's that kid that robbed the home run. He's now an outfielder for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Like it's gonna be one of those things. Like you know how they have like Trey Young with like it was like Kevin Durant and LeBron James. Yeah, that's gonna be this guy. Like we're gonna have this kid like in 10 years be like, oh yeah, he's a major leaguer now. He robbed the Junior Caminero of a home run, which regardless. Let me get your take. What do you think about the inch thing, about the whole Raleigh and Rooker? Should we have a swing off?
Yeah, we should have had a swing off. That was absurd. I know baseball is numbers driven, but you still, in the current Major League Baseball regular season, you got umpires making decisions on strikes and balls. And it was down to what, the 100th position or past the decimal point? I mean, it was ridiculous. Yeah. Ridiculous. I mean, come on. Like they tied. Because originally on the broadcast they announced it as a tie because they both hit it 471 or something like that.
470.
And then they're like, oh, well, let's go to the decimal points. Like, come on. Like
not even in a science class. Like we could go back to our math teachers in high school and in college and in science. Like nobody would make us round that deep. Like,
and if you actually like visualized it and you went to the spot in the stands where the ball landed, you would not be able to tell the difference. So it's like, come on, like just let him do a swing off, 5 swings each, whatever. It wouldn't have made a huge difference in terms of their fatigue. But I thought the event was fun. I thought winning the home run derby is gonna, as crazy as it sounds, it's gonna add to Cal Raleigh's MVP case just because of the publicity that he's generating.
Yeah.
Kayla, my girlfriend, was like, she had no idea who Cal Raleigh was before the season, and she watches a lot of baseball, but she's like, man, I keep hearing about this Cal Raleigh guy. Like I think they showed a graphic in the Yankee Cubs game on Sunday. That's what it was. It was the top guys in OPS for the season. And it was like Judge, Ohtani, Raleigh, and Michael Busch. And she's like, wow, they talk about those 3 guys all the time, referencing Judge, Ohtani, and Cal Raleigh, but they never talk about Michael Busch. So I feel like he's kind of getting into the mainstream baseball media, and like the common fan is becoming more and more aware of this. With what this dude's doing, winning the home run derby certainly helped his publicity. Oh, yeah. And as crazy as it sounds, I think it might help his MVP case.
Big dumper. I mean, big dumper getting big votes. I mean,
if I had a dollar, sorry to interrupt, if I had a dollar for every time Cal Raleigh's ass was mentioned in this All-Star week, I would have many dollars.
Many dollars. You have enough to take your girlfriend out to dinner, probably. Take a kill out to dinner to a nice place in Chicago.
I'd have enough to sign up free agent for the Pirates.
Oh, I was about to say Maple and Ash, baby. Maple and Ash dinner for 2. Hey.
Yeah, Maple and Ash was fine. It was it's trendy. It's kind of the place that everyone wants to go for the Instagram photo.
They just opened one down here in Miami. I don't know if it's a spot I should be taking my talents to and trying, but we'll leave that for Belly. But regardless, Belly, if you want to plug us, please plug us. Again, regardless, let's talk about last night. I think last night you went to bed way too early. The game ended around like close to midnight Eastern. I was about to call you and wake you up because of the swing off, but I know you would have been really mad at me, and you would have like been really mad at me. And I know you need your beauty sleep. Like, we would have been a happy camper if I would have woken up about that. Like,
I made it pretty late. I made it to, I think that's 8th inning. I went to bed thinking, what if the AL comes back in the 9th? Sure enough, they did. Of course.
You made it to the 8th, and it was because I was texting you. I mean, biggest storylines we got to talk about. Eugenio Suárez. From now on, I would like to be known as Eugenio Suárez, conductor commander. I've been on this Eugenio Suárez train to the Yankees for a year now. I've been on it since 2024 when William went on vacation, and I've been like, hey, Yankees should do it. But defensively, was incredible to finish the game. Like that barehanded throw to first to get it out, that's a really tough play to make. judging the hop and catching it barehanded and gunning him at first, really hard play. And even at the end, where Michael Garcia, it was Bobby Witt, no, it was Stephen Kwan who hit the dribbler out the third. He still made a great throw. Obviously, he doesn't throw that ball if it's not a game like the All-Star game. He threw it, and of course, it was right on the money. A little bit up, but still really good. But defensively, I think that quells all the defensive concerns I have with him, for one.
A few plays in the All-Star game. All the concerns you have about him defensively.
The All-Star game, you have everybody's watching you. You got all of them. You got the whole nation watching you. You have a whole world. You have nations like Japan, Venezuela, Mexico. Like all these countries are watching. It's one of the biggest stages there is for players. And I mean, in comparison to sports, the MLB All-Star game is one of the biggest events of the season. Like the NBA All-Star game, yeah, it's fun because you get to make these like crazy teams like LeBron, Curry, and Durant. But like the game doesn't matter, and nobody cares about the game. Here in the MLB All-Star game, everybody's watching, everybody cares, and you know you have the World Series on the line again. So
Not anymore.
Not anymore. But still, there's still a significance. It's still a value of playing the freaking game.
They try. They try.
It's hard not to try in baseball. It's pretty obvious when you don't try. It's like in football. When you don't try in football, you know, whatever. But it's like the best All-Star game. And I think it's one of the better All-Star games we've had in a while. And let's also give a shout out to MLB putting ABS. Like, ABS was incredible. The amount of times that I saw it used, like, for example, Edwin Diaz used it last night with a slider. And these players and catchers know the zone better than you and me do. And for them, a lot of times, they're calling it, tapping their head, and they're getting the right calls. They're getting those calls overturned. And I think it's something we need in the game next year. Like, it doesn't take a lot of time, and I think it's great. They should even do it like in tennis, where, like, you remember when Wimbledon, they don't do it anymore, but when they had the ball tracker, like the laser tracker, the players would challenge it if it was in or out, and everybody would start like the slow clap, and then it would show. They should do it for baseball. I think it'd be great, but like ABS was honestly great.
I think it'll be in the league next year. I think that's almost guaranteed at this point. I think the fact that they rolled it out in the All-Star game kind of it was like, because it was so successful in spring training, I felt like that was kind of like an intro to the common fan on the main stage. It's very quick. It's quick. I think it could be quicker. I would like to see it maybe immediately, even like how tennis has it, where it's, you know, challenge, and then they just go to the screen. It's ready to go right away. It's still very quick. That's a minor complaint, but I thought it was good. You mentioned, like, I agree. I think the pitchers and catchers know the zone extremely well. The batters maybe a little bit less. I think Jacob Wilson had a successful challenge last night, so he was seeing the ball well. You know, what is it? 2 challenges per game. We'll see what the rules end up being.
Something like that. But the other thing too we have to note is it was unfortunate Eugenio Suárez. My heart kind of dropped last night as the commander conductor. My heart kind of dropped when he got plunked by Shane Smith in the fingers.
Can the White Sox do anything right?
No, but I think like a third of the league wanted to kill Shane Smith last night because the best player on the trade deadline could have possibly had a broken pinky or a broken finger, and then nobody's going to trade for him. I even think the Arizona Diamondbacks were kind of mad too, because like, oh yeah, like whatever. Now, I'm here to defend Aaron Boone again. I'm here to be a Boone defender. At first, I think the swing off, I'm going to give the viewers what happened last night. So essentially what the swing off was last night is that each manager, AL and NL, had 3 representatives that they had to pick from the roster to go into just go a home run derby, but you only get 3 swings only. No out. It don't matter. Just 3 swings with the bat. And Dave Roberts selected Kyle Stowers from the Miami Marlins, Kyle Schwarber from the Philadelphia Phillies, Pete Alonso from the New York Mets, which Pete Alonso in the 9th inning, like it was like the top of the ninth. They had the camera down in the batting cages, and he was like already ready to go. Like,
telling you, that would have been his Super Bowl right there.
He loves it. I bet you Mets fans were like, oh yeah, Pete Alonso coming up. He was ready to go. But Aaron Boone made the decision to put out First off, his first hitter was Brent Rooker, which I understand because Brent Rooker hit a big home run early in the game. He got the AL, momentum back after Brent Rooker. He got Randy Arozarena, which a lot of people gave him flack. Look, why are you Randy Arozarena? Randy Arozarena was one of those players that he could be having a bad game, but he's a moments player. He shines brightest in the moment. Now, where everybody and I had a problem with Mr. Jonathan Aranda. Jonathan Aranda as your anchor of a hitter. That is like putting SpongeBob at the anchor of tug of war and expecting to win your tug of war matchup against whoever's on the other side. Well, on the other side, you have The Rock, Hulk Hogan, and Eddie Hall, which is one of the strongest men. Because that's what Dave Roberts went and got his big guns and got Kyle Schwarber, one of the best power bats in the league, and Pete Alonso, who pretty much practiced for this year round. I had a problem with it, and of course the AL lost because NL has more power. It was interesting that he picked Aranda, and I was like, why don't you pitch Judge? And then I thought, he's probably protecting Judge because, if Judge goes out and plays a stinker, with MLB Twitter and MLB media will be loud if he plays a stinker. That's for one. If he puts up, who else could he put up on the AL? I can't think of.
There weren't a ton of. Cal Raleigh, of course.
Yeah, but he's also protecting the MVP, the Judge MVP hunt race. If Cal Raleigh goes and hits 3 home runs and the AL wins, he gets AL MVP. He gets All-Star MVP. That AL MVP case gets a lot louder. Vladimir Guerrero. The one thing I had an issue with, and I found out after the game, is that players left early.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge was not at the stadium. So, I'm defending Aaron Boone now because Aaron Boone was like, who did he have to select? And the craziest thing is that Aaron Judge, the Yankees play in Atlanta on Friday, and Aaron Judge went home an hour early. That is a clear problem.
Do we know if he flew out of Atlanta or he just went to the hotel or somewhere in Atlanta, wherever he's staying?
I don't know, but Tariq Skubal was in street clothes.
Yeah. At least he stayed.
He stayed. It was like, man. But what do you think about the swing off? I'll get into other things about, the Central. I think the AL Central laid a stinker last night, like an absolute stinker. Like Tariq Skubal does not deserve the pitch in primetime games. He is the king of Roku games right now. That's what he's looking like right now.
He wasn't great in his second playoff start last year, so I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But the Tigers had a stinker. I loved the swing off. I thought it was great. I think the NBA can learn a lot from that in the way they finish out their All-Star game, do like a one-on-one or something. But I thought it was a perfect way to end it, honestly. It's not a serious game. It's an entertaining game. It's a celebration of baseball. Let's do cool stuff, So how long until Manfred's like, maybe we do this at the end of actual games? I think that would be a step too far. I think fans would really push back on that. We already got the Manfred runner in there, which, the older crowd didn't like. I think now it's kind of become pretty normal, but I don't know. Manfred is not afraid to make some progressive decisions with the game.
That is, if we introduce a swing off, that's like the penalty kicks at the end of soccer games. Because penalty kicks at the end of soccer games is already a big point of contention. After you play an extra 30 minutes, they're like, oh, how is this fair to decide basically on spot kicks? That's essentially what would happen on the home run derby. I personally enjoyed Rooker's approach. I love the Twitter aspect of the game. I feel a lot of players were very loose on Twitter. Brent Rooker's very loose on Twitter. Vinny Pasquantino was live tweeting on. My favorite thing was Vinny Pasquantino was like, I forgot who he said, but it was Ketel Marte and Ellie De La Cruz, and Fernando Tatis were around. I think it was like Matt Olson, and they were like, "Does Matt Olson understand anything of what they're saying?" Around it.
Rooker said that?
No, it was Pasquantino. Pasquantino was live tweeting from home, so it's just
That's
like
funny.
Between that. Now let me ask you a question, and we'll go back to back here. If you're Aaron Boone, which I know he's getting flack for, which I'm defending for. Hey, he didn't have his full arsenal available out there. If you had your full AL arsenal out there available, Who is your 3 for a swing off the American League roster?
Judge, Raleigh, and probably Vlad.
Interesting.
Who would you go with?
I think going off what I saw last night on how Rooker performed, I would have gone Rooker, Caminero, and Raleigh.
No Judge?
No.
He did win the home run derby in 2017. That's a long time ago, but
I know, but I would get guys who have done it before, like the guys who did it the night before. They're gonna understand. Like, think about it. That's a highly pressured moment. Like, you're up there, and John Smoltz, which I think coverage this weekend was a little tough for MLB between Smoltz and ESPN with the home run derby on Monday night. It was a little rough between the camera angles and Smoltz's commentary. But
I generally like Smoltz. I think he's a good listen. The ESPN, I didn't love the play-by-play, if you want to call it that, on the home run derby. But then again, like, what is there to say in a home run derby besides what Chris Berman did? He did it so well. Back. That's all you need. That's all you need. And the camera angle, yes. I guess there was an alternate broadcast on ESPN2 that was a lot better. I didn't know that until after the fact.
I want to see distances. That's my big thing. I want to see how far. Like, I didn't know it was 513 till after. But my thing was that I would have gotten guys for the AL that did it the night before. That understand the pressure, already have practice for the moment, and ready to go. Because the AL doesn't have guys like Kyle Schwarber and Pete Alonso. Just dudes that just hit nukes. Because who? You get Javi Baez up there?
I mean, you have the 2 leading home run guys in the whole league. I don't know if Judge's swing is tailored for a home run derby, though, because he does hit a lot. I know he won one, but current era Judge, he hits a lot of opposite field home runs. Cal Raleigh is tailor-made, obviously. He won the home run derby. I thought another funny aspect was Dave Roberts running the 3 Padres relievers out there. He made sure to get them in that game.
I mean, it was a great game in general. I mean, everybody had a good time. I mean, big plays were made. Matt Olson almost saved the game. If the NL wins, everybody's talking about the play that Matt Olson makes that first stealing Jazz from extra bases, which pretty much it's the difference. You have a guy at second with 1 out compared to a man at third with 2 outs.
Yeah.
And it's a 1-run game, tie ball game, the difference. But, I mean, great weekend for Major League Baseball. I enjoyed it. I think the NL, if you're Dave Roberts, who are you picking as your 3 home run guys?
Alonso, Schwarber, and I guess, Ohtani. Or you could make an argument for Acuna or Tatis. There's a lot more options there, but I probably Ohtani. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's interesting. But, I mean, hey, great all-star game. I enjoyed it. Good weekend for baseball. Just hats off for Major League for hosting an event. Atlanta did a great job. Hank Aaron tribute was great as well. The Stand Up for Cancer always is a tearjerker every year when they do it. I mean, congratulations, Major League Baseball. Can't wait to see what happens in Philadelphia next year.
Yeah, that's a big one. What is it, 250th anniversary of the United States? So they're having it in Philly.
I mean, 250, we got it in Philly next year, and then we got UFC at the White House next year on the lawn of the White House. We could be seeing Conor McGregor and John Jones in the White House.
Oh God, that would be a disaster. Anyways, let's get to the trade deadline.
Let's talk about it.
I mean, we'll just dive right in. I mentioned we have the Athletic big board pulled up of some of the guys, top names that might get traded. First, I think we should outline who's going to be buying.
Wait. Time out. Why are you going right into the table? We had a trade today that we have to cover. It was a huge.
We had a barn burner trade, a league earth-shattering trade today. You're right. I forgot.
Adam Frazier has been traded back to the Kansas City Royals. He's hitting 250. He has a slash line of 255, 318, and 336 slug. Royals. He's an ex-Royal. Royals need a second baseman help because Michael Massey is on the IL. Jonathan India hasn't been cutting it. And they've had 10 players start in the outfield this year. So Adam Frazier, he's your man. Seems like a cheap transaction that they did between the Pirates. I mean, Pirates are selling. I don't know if this move moves the needle for Paul Skeens and in his future. But
what did they trade in return? What did the Pirates get in return? Was it cash?
No, it was a player, like some dude on the 40 man they designated for assignment, or some dude that was running out of options. So
I was going to say they should have traded for some cash to help fund the Paul Skeens contract extension.
well, I have a question. How happy do you think Paul Skeens was yesterday? He had pictures with his girlfriend living down all day, and he got run support. And they blew a lead.
He got run support, and then they blew it. He got 6 runs of run support, and they blew it. This guy can't get wins or whatever. Go out there and throw 8 2/3 scoreless innings with a 10-run lead, and somehow his team would still blow it. It's the modern era Jacob deGrom.
Got a free weekend with his girlfriend, free vacation out to Atlanta, damn near.
I guess so.
Hey, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Before we can continue, did you see the All-Star game red carpet? Who had the best fit? Who had the best fit, in your opinion? Who did you like? I'll say PCA was killing it. PCA's fit like on brand.
Yeah, he had a stylist. I mean, obviously. Yeah, I think PCA stood out. Did you see the interview? Okay, this is not related to fits, but did you see the Ryan O'Hearn interview with his wife?
That thank God one.
She said, I can't believe I never thought in a million years we would be here. Like, she said that with her husband right there. Is basically saying that I didn't believe in you at all.
He should be sending his all-star bonus to Craig Breslow as we speak.
Yeah, he's getting traded. I just thought that was funny.
I thought PCA dressed well. Fernando Tatis had a fit.
He always dresses well, Tatis.
Max Fried also was dressed pretty well. Max Fried has great fits.
Yeah.
There's some guys that I was like, what are you wearing? Like, really, like.
I thought Judge's suit was pretty bad. The white pinstripe suit. I didn't like that.
A little bit outdated to me.
Yeah. Jazz. I think Jazz is secretly a pretty big nerd.
He is.
Yeah, he's got a nerdy vibe about him.
He's Jaren Jackson, but baseball forward.
Big into the anime and stuff.
Big into the anime, but sorry, I had to do that. But we'll now take it away with your MLB trade deadline. We made a table, and we've decided to classify these teams into what category they are. So, William, without further ado.
Yeah, so we got 4. We got sellers, for sure sellers. First week, watchers, teams that are going to decide if they're buying or selling, depending on what happens in like the first week of the second half. Luis, you added opportunity buyers / sellers, and then we have our buyers, of course. So in the sellers category, for sure, we got the White Sox, the Rockies, the Nationals, the Pirates, the A's. I put the Braves in there. I just don't think there's any way they buy this year. So that leans them into the sellers category. And then the Marlins, which I know that might trigger you.
Whoa. Time out. I have a clear problem with this list.
Okay.
I'll let you finish, but go.
I was going to say, yes, the Marlins are playing better baseball of late, but I still think they're gonna sell, and maybe they can still win depending on, because they just don't have a ton to sell, really, if we're being honest.
What is there for us to sell? What are we selling?
Exactly. That's why they're selling. Sandy's like the only thing.
Sandy's not moving. Sandy's going to come up in the playoffs, and he's going to pitch a complete game against the Mets. Okay. And we're going to win 2-1. Kyle Stowers, 2-run home run, 6th inning. Like, I'm calling my shot. It's going to happen. Edward Cabrera to Jansen Junk and Sandy Alcantara and Yuri Perez. Yuri Perez might be the most underrated pitcher right now in baseball. Everybody wants
all right. We don't need this Marlins. You don't Marlins propaganda every episode lately.
No, you haven't even clipped it. Everybody wants to talk about Jacob Ezerowski and the Miz. He's only pitched 5 starts. Yuri Perez is pitching just as good, if not better than this guy. This dude is elite. I'm telling you, Marlins are going to make the playoffs. They're going to hit their over. They're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to beat the Mets in the first round. Watch. It's going to happen.
Okay.
I ask you, what is there else for us to sell? What am I going to sell?
There is nothing they can sell except Sandy, which he's been struggling. Okay, but I had them in the sellers category. I know that was going to trigger something in you, and sure enough, it did.
I'm also triggered with 2 other teams on this list. Let's see if you can guess them.
Nationals?
I think the Braves.
Okay.
Because what is the Braves? I clearly think that they're still holding on hope, and they're still going to hold on hope. But what is there to sell other than Marcell Ozuna and Rafael Iglesias? They're clearly not going to do a full teardown because it always feels like this team's like always close but they're not close. So I think they're just going to be an opportunity team.
Yeah, I think they'll sell their free agents in Ozuna and Iglesias, which I don't know how highly I value Iglesias. I don't really think Braves fans are too fond of him. Yeah, and Sale would be the big name. He's got the club option for 2026. They've already kind of shut down those rumors. So I think they probably hold on to him as well and kind of just, say chalk this season up as a bit of a season from hell and then move on. And, they still have a ton of talent on the roster and see what they can do next season. Maybe, they're 9.5 games back in the National League wild card. Maybe they think they can still somehow sneak into the playoffs, but I think they should sell. The team doesn't seem like they're going to sell, except maybe some of their free agent players. I don't know. We'll see. I got them in the sellers category, though.
What do they sell? But that's the thing. Let me just ask you, because I feel like a lot of these teams, I group them in the same boat. What is there to sell off these teams?
Pirates, not much. But my point is, they're so bad, they're going to trade something.
But what is there to sell? What are the pieces that we're looking at these teams that we?
The Pirates could trade Heaney. They could trade Brian Reynolds. They could trade Bednar if they wanted to. I've heard Mitch Keller's name floated out there a lot. So they have some names. The Marlins, obviously, you mentioned Sandy. The Athletic has Edward Cabrera on here. And then if you look at the Braves, Ozuna, Albies, Sean Murphy is a name they have listed here. Obviously, the Rockies, Ryan McMahon, Jake Bird. Those are kind of the two big names for them this year. So, and then the Nationals, Soroka is definitely going to get traded. Kyle Finnegan, I think, is definitely going to get traded. And I saw Mackenzie Gore's name floated. His name is, I think that would be crazy if they traded Gore I think he's like 26 years old. But there are some names. The Athletics seems like they're not going to sell Rooker. That was kind of the one name that sprung to mind. Do they trade Mason Miller and surprise everybody? That's one thing. There's not any big names being floated out there right now, like massive superstars. You can argue Mason Miller's top 5 closer in the game. Maybe not as much this season, but he has the stuff to be.
Okay.
I think there's going to be a surprise trade. Last year's trade deadline was underwhelming. There's a ton of buyers, teams that need, help to win. A lot of teams need relief help. So I think pitching help and bullpen help. I think of the Phillies having a weak bullpen, the Yankees having kind of a weak bullpen right now. So there are teams that need bullpen help. Maybe a Mason Miller moves. I think Clase, there's a chance he gets moved. So I do think there are more names that aren't on this list from the Athletic that might end up getting moved. Jose Ramirez, no. Will he end his career with the Guardians? I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? Made the case in a couple episodes ago. But anyway, let me keep going with the list. First week watchers: Orioles, Guardians, Royals, and D-backs. But I think the D-backs, no matter what they do in the first week back, I think they're trading Suarez, Gallen, and Kelly. And then maybe Naylor too. Orioles, they're kind of, they'll trade Ryan O'Hearn. They're 7.5 back in the wild card right now. They're leaning towards sure sellers. And there were some reports, I think, out last weekend, I think, that seems like they're going to be selling. Guardians, they went on that win streak. Now they're only 5.5 back in the wild card. They swept Houston and then won 2 of 3 or 3 of 4 against the White Sox last week. So they might end up not selling as much as they should. They're still 3 games under 500. I don't think they're a playoff team. The Royals, they need to sell Lugo. They just re-signed Carlos Estevez they signed him in free agency to a new contract. So maybe they don't move him. But again, teams need relief help. The Royals aren't that good. They were good last year, so maybe they just hold on and kind of see what happens next season. But you agree with that? Those 4 there?
Yeah, I think these teams, 3 out of the 4 teams, 10 more to sellers. I think the Orioles will sell, Royals will sell, and Diamondbacks. I think, I think we're going to see a lot of these trades incorporate a lot of free agents to bees. We're not going to see big multi-year guys. We all want to see that big fish. I don't think there is that big fish this year.
If you look at the biggest free agents, obviously it's Kyle Tucker, number 1. Cubs are too good. They're obviously not trading him. Alonso, he's got the player option. The Mets aren't trading him. Ranger Suarez, Framber Valdez, Alex Bregman. those guys are all not getting traded. Bregman, if the Red Sox had cratered, but they obviously went on the 10-game winning streak, so he's not going to get moved. Shane Bieber, I mean, no, he's hurt, right? Still, so
Yeah,
Chris Sale,
yeah,
Chris Sale, he's hurt. Freddie Peralta, the Brewers are too good. Cody Bellinger, Yankees are moving him. Dylan Cease is maybe the first name, but I think the Padres are going to hold on to him because Darvish is still coming back.
But I think that's the guy. And think like let's look at our buyers, and we'll go run back to opportunity guys. But our buyers are the Reds, the Rays, the Cardinals, the Mariners, the Giants, the Red Sox, the Padres, Yankees, Mets, Phillies, Blue Jays, Brewers, Astros, Cubs, Dodgers, and Tigers. I think out of those teams, the Padres don't have a good farm system right now. It's very depleted from all the trades that AJ Preller made. I kind of think they're going to have to sacrifice one of those pen guys so they can go get a guy like Jhoan Duran. I mean, a Feast for Duran trade is still making a lot of sense both ways.
Well, you had Passan over the All-Star break. He was on ESPN saying that it seems like the Red Sox aren't going to sell anything and they're going to go for this thing.
Yeah, but with the Red Sox, they clearly have Sedon, Roman Anthony, and Duran in the outfield. And they got one more guy who's
Abreu.
And Willie Abreu. Somebody's got to move. Those are 4 starting level outfielders. It's out of those 4, one of them is not a rotational piece.
I guess the question is, why is it always Duran that's his name is floated? I guess because he's closer to free agency than the others.
He's the older guy. Will Abreu is a Gold Glove. Roman Anthony has he's the blue chip prospect. And Cedar Rafaela is on a heater right now, and he has positional versatility where he can play a little bit of infield if need be. But I mean, look about it. Craig Breslow said they're looking for an impact arm, and that impact arm doesn't exist. And I kind of do feel like they're going to have to find a creative way to do this trade, and I think somebody will get sacrificed, and I feel it will be Jhoan Duran. The Red Sox have a lot of good position players. They can't add position players because, as we've talked about it on the pod before, they have a wealth of prospects in the infield. Christian Campbell's in AAA. Marcelo Meyer is Mr. Vinny Chase is in the infield. Alex Bregman, Tristan Casas will be back next year. Romy Gonzalez is on a heater. They're going to have to make some type of move, and I do feel like they're going to have to sacrifice one of their strengths. You got to give to get. And I kind of feel like in this unique market, because of the playoff system, as we've talked about before, I think trades are going to have to get creative.
Yeah, they already traded arguably their best hitters this season. So there's clearly no fear in terms of their front office. The other category we had was just opportunity buyers and sellers, kind of teams that are in the middle. Angels, Twins, Rangers. I think the Angels could maybe fall into the first week watchers. I could see the Angels staying pat. I mean, you got Kikuchi out there. That's always the name that springs to mind. And then the Athletic has like Taylor Ward on this list. You got, I think they have another Angel on here. Reed Detmers, who's having a really good season in relief for them. Tyler Anderson, another starter. And then the Twins, I mean, there are Griffin Jacks, Duran, the closer. Byron Buxton's the name, but he has a no trade clause, so he's probably not going to get traded. He said at the All-Star break that he's a Minnesota Twin for life. You got Chris Paddock, another name in Minnesota. Harrison Bader, if you want some outfield help.
Joe Ryan, that's a big fish.
Joe Ryan, why would they trade Joe Ryan?
Because they got to reset. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this question. What 3 teams control the deadline?
Okay, that's a good question. I don't know.
I got mine in my mind already.
Okay.
I'm saying.
Okay.
Sorry.
Arizona is definitely one of them.
Okay, you got Arizona. Who else you got?
Arizona. I think Kansas City sneakily, maybe. Because they got some arms that teams are going to want. And I think another one, even though they're probably pushing for the playoffs, maybe the Cardinals.
I disagree with you. I got Arizona. You got the first baseman and Josh Naylor, who we've seen interested, a lot of teams interested. You got Eugenio Suárez, aka I'm the commander conductor of the Eugenio Suárez train. Eugenio Suárez, Zach Allen, and Merrill Kelly. Those are 4 big guys who will attract a lot of interest. Minnesota Twins. Nobody talks about Minnesota. If Minnesota decides to implode it, you got Jhoan Duran, one of the best closers in the game. Griffin Jackson, one of the best relievers in the game. Those are 2 guys that are going to command a lot of interest. Harrison Bader. Harrison Bader is always going to have a job in Major League Baseball because he's a great 4th outfielder. He's in that Trent Grisham, Brett Gardner mold, who's going to play you great defense, run well. If he can stay healthy, he's a great guy to have in the clubhouse. You know how much the Cardinals value him. The Yankees liked him. He was on that Mets team last year. Like, he's a good player to have. You also have, they trade Royce Lewis. Somebody will take a chance on Royce Lewis, maybe. Like, they got a lot of pieces. Joe Ryan probably becomes that impact starter teams are looking for. Like, they have pieces to trade. And then my third team that controls the deadline would probably be the Guardians. You know, yeah, the Royals have a lot of pieces in, you know, Seth Lugo, and that's pretty much it, to be honest.
You could say Estevez.
They won't move Estevez. They just did a long-term commitment.
Well, I mean, the Royals might be all in. They just traded for Adam Frazier. So,
let's look at the Guardians, man. The Guardians they decided to move him out of Clase. Who do you want, Clase or Duran?
Clase, all day, every day, no question. I don't even skip a beat.
You got Clase. They could move. Carlos Santana. Carlos Santana is gets always moved at the deadline. He's always a consummate professional, great professional. They also got Lane Thomas, who I know hasn't had a good year, but some team might just take a chance. And if they just decide to put Stephen Kwan on the block or Jay Rand, they got decently some good pieces. And their farm has a lot of young guys ready to come up. So I would not be surprised if they decided to make a move of a Clase or something like that to get some pitching help for the future. So those are my 3 teams.
I think you nailed it, honestly. The Cardinals owned the trade deadline before the season, if that makes sense, because
yes, they did.
They have Helsley, Arenado as pending free agents, or Arenado's got another year of control, but Helsley's a pending free agent. They were the name that everyone was circling. I actually think it sounds crazy now. The Padres were one of those teams because there were rumors before the season that they were going to be moving on a lot of these pieces because of the huge contracts they have. But they always just buy. Can you guess how many teams Carlos Santana has played for?
6.
7.
Yeah, let me guess.
Okay.
Cleveland, Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Where else? Kansas City.
Yep.
He's played for Minnesota.
Yep.
What team am I missing? He hasn't played for Detroit. He played for the Brewers. He definitely had a stint with the Brewers and the Pirates.
Yep.
How many teams do I have?
You're missing 2.
Yeah, 2 teams. Definitely.
1 season with both. 79 games with one, and 161 games with the other.
He seems like a central block guy. He just seems like he's swept the whole central block. It's not the Cubs and it's not the White Sox.
They're not the central. One is in the National League East and one is in one of the Western divisions.
He didn't play for the Angels. He didn't play for He didn't play for Arizona. Seattle. Definitely played in Seattle.
79 games in Seattle.
And then in the East, the NL East, not Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's Philadelphia.
Oh, my
161
God.
games. Yeah. In what year was that? Philly. It's not even showing up in his 2018. 2018, he played there for a season.
So now let me ask you, athletic big board.
Yep.
You got number 1, Jhoan Duran. Do you think he gets moved? Yes or no?
No, I think the Red Sox are all of a sudden all in on this season.
Bregman, he's a no, right?
Bregman, definite no.
Lugo.
Yes, Seth Lugo is getting traded.
Emmanuel Clase.
Wait, let me just pull up the Lugo deal. Sorry. Because I want to look at his contract. He's got a spot track loads, player option. That's right. Player option for $15 million next year. He's 35 years old. I could see him going to the Cubs, but he's another lefty. Do the Cubs really need another lefty? Sorry, he's not a lefty. I was thinking of Cole Reagans. He's a righty. The Cubs need a righty. So Cubs, Dodgers always in the mix. Padres need arm. So Seth Lugo is getting traded. Yes.
Clase.
It's one of the most team-friendly contracts in all of baseball. Let me just
without the contracts. Without the
no, no,
contract.
no, no. The contract is important context with Clase. It is one of the most team-friendly contracts in all of baseball. He's at $4.9 million this year, 6.4 next year, and then club options for $10 million in 27 and 28. And last year he was undoubtedly the best closer in baseball. This year he started out slow, but he's really turned it on since like the first month and a half of the season. So if I'm Cleveland, if Emmanuel Clase ends up getting moved, you can make the argument he's the most important player traded at that deadline. So I don't think the Guardians trade him. It would be smart to inject that farm system with some more talent, maybe some arms. I think they need some arms in that.
They need arms. They need arms
in that farm system. But I say no. Cleveland would be shrewd to do it, but I think it's just the contract that makes it like so hard to move off of Clase.
Sandy Alcantara. Stop thinking about it. We got to go. We got 20 more players we got to list out.
That's a tough one because he's been so bad. I think a team is going to convince themselves that they can fix Sandy Alcantara, and I think he gets traded at the deadline. I think the Cubs are a name to watch out for with Sandy, and the Mets are rumored. I don't know if the Marlins are going to do an interdivision trade.
We're not trading with the. We're not trading with the Mets. We're not. Okay. King Bendix would never do that.
Yeah. So,
hey, did you see what Bendix did at the draft?
No, what did he do?
Bro, Bendix is like if you were a freaking GM.
Why?
He drafted all college players, not a single high school guy.
I like him. Smart move.
All college bats only. College bats only. All over the age of 21. You know, all with the ability to.
That's MLB ready stuff right there.
Yeah. See, Peter Bendix. You're a fan of Peter Bendix?
Yes. Yeah. I wasn't a year ago, but he's turning things around in Miami already. The thing with Sandy is he's a former Cy Young winner. So again, I think some team is going to convince themselves that, hey, we can get him back to that form. He's coming off the Tommy John surgery. His walk rate is just bad. I mean, he's a playoff starter if he can turn things around in the second half. We'll see if he does. I do think he gets moved.
Eugenio Suárez.
I think Suárez is the lock of the trade deadline to get traded. I think someone is going to overpay for a Eugenio Suárez.
He's going to be a Yankee. He's going to be a Yankee.
Okay. I mean, what is it going to take?
Please refer to me as Eugenio Suárez, conductor commander.
Conductor commander. I don't know if that makes sense.
I've been on this boat since 2024. Eugenio Suárez to the Yankees.
Okay. I think he's getting moved for sure, though. I don't know where.
To the Yankees
are. Okay.
Didn't you see last night what was happening last night at the telecast? It's like you ever think stuff's rigged? Like they were like, Jazz Chisholm. I think it was like an Eduardo Suárez grounds out to Jazz Chisholm, maybe his future teammate. It was like the other way around. And they also had the intro that they filmed. Mm-hmm. They had, I think it was like Max Fried and Jazz Chisholm, or like Max Fried and Aaron Judge like waving at you, and Eugenio Suárez waving at him. Like, yeah, I'm telling you.
Cubs need a third baseman. Mariners need a third baseman.
Eugenio Suárez is a Yankee. Stop.
Okay. I think Shaw is probably the guy in Chicago, even though he's not good. They're not going to give up on him yet. Or he's not good so far this season. He's good defensively.
Wilyer Abreu.
No, he's not moving. Too young. 26.
Jhoan Duran.
I think Duran gets moved.
Griffin Jax.
If Duran gets moved, Jax gets moved. That could be a package deal. So yes, I'll say Jax gets moved.
They'll get moved for some single A prospects from the Dodgers because that's how every Dodgers goes. Some prospects we don't know, some MLB the Show, Road to the Show guys that just pop up.
The Dodgers got Alexis Diaz earlier this year from the Reds.
Yeah, well, he hasn't pitched in the majors yet. Zach Gallen.
The metrics are so bad on him. He's a free agent, so it's a rental. I don't know. I think again maybe it's a team that thinks they can fix him, like the Mets. The Mets would make a lot of sense for Zach Gallen. The Cardinals need help in that rotation. I don't know if Cardinals fans would be too excited about a guy with really bad ERA. I think it's like 6+ at this point. Yankees, maybe. But yeah, I do think Gallen gets moved.
You know who screams Cardinals trade deadline move? Adrian Hauser.
Yes. 100,000%.
Adrian Hauser, St. Louis Cardinal.
Yeah.
Merrill Kelly.
I think if Gallen gets moved, Suárez gets moved, then Kelly would absolutely get moved. Again, Chicago, New York, San Diego, Mets, all those teams need arms. Cardinals, that's a name there. He's a free agent as well.
Eduardo Cabrera.
No. I think he's too good. I mean, he'd be arguably the best pitcher moved at the deadline if he does get traded in terms of starters on the list that we've gone through so far. But he's controlled through 2028. Like he would require a king's ransom, I think.
Ryan O'Hearn?
Yes. Maybe the lock of the deadline to move. Guy having a career year. This screams like move, and this is going to sound bad, but dude that had a killer first half, free agent, bad team. It's like a perfect storm. And then like he just stinks in the second half and isn't an impact player in the team that he gets traded to. But he is getting traded.
Marcell Ozuna from the Braves.
Ozuna from the Braves is definitely getting traded this year as well. Some team that needs a DH, a thumper in the lineup.
Marcell Ozuna, you are now a Seattle Mariner.
Yeah, Mariners makes a lot of sense. I mean, the thing with him is if he is a DH, Cal Raleigh, does Ozuna not play when Cal Raleigh's DHing, or does Ozuna play some outfield? I guess you have to move to the outfield, but you have that dilemma a little bit.
Ozzy Albies.
Control through 27, cheap team-friendly contract. I'm going to say no.
Mitch Keller.
The metrics on Albies are concerning. Mitch Keller, yeah, I think he moves. Control through 2028. Kind of just a dependable starter, guy that's going to eat innings for you. Sign an extension in 2024, I think, last season. So not an ace, good depending on the team, 2 or 3 guy. I think, again, the Cubs need arms. I actually saw Mitch Keller pitch in Wrigley earlier this season. So this right-handed guy under control, what is he, 29? I think it would make sense for the Cubs. I think it would make sense for the Blue Jays. They need some arm help, but they have righties in the rotation in Gausman and Berrios. I feel like the Blue Jays would be better suited going out and trying to get a lefty. And San Diego, maybe. But yeah, I think Pirates they got to trade some of these guys that are under contract that they extended, because they're obviously not moving the needle now. And I think they need to go out and sign somebody this offseason in the lineup that is going to help Skeens. So yes, Keller traded.
Cedric Mullins.
That's another one. Yeah, pending free agent, owed under $3 million, lefty. He's getting moved. Outfield help, Phillies, like Tampa Bay, San Diego. Maybe move him into left field in San Diego. Mets, maybe. Tyrone Taylor. I think he would make sense out there, yeah.
Josh Naylor.
Josh Naylor, if the Diamondbacks decide to go full rebuild, or not full rebuild, but full sell, he's a free agent. First baseman, Boston needs a first baseman. The Padres need a first baseman. Seattle needs a first baseman. Yankees, they're not actually going to do it because of Goldie, but and Rice. Naylor's getting traded.
Aroldis Chapman.
No, Boston's not selling Chapman. He's one of the best closers in the league this season.
Sean Murphy.
Would be smart for Atlanta to move him. He's controlled through 2028, but no, I don't think so. I don't think but you got thing with Atlanta is you got Drake Baldwin coming up, and I think he should be getting consistent playing time, consistent starting playing time, not platooning with Murphy. So they do kind of have a surplus of requirements at catcher. Would make sense for Atlanta to move Murphy. San Diego desperately needs catching help.
Yep.
San Francisco, I mean, you got Patrick Bailey out there. Maybe you just DH Sean Murphy. They needed DH. I guess they got Devers. Just kidding. Not anymore. They don't need a DH anymore. But they do need help hitting the ball, catching wise. It's tough because Patrick Bailey is one of the best defensive catchers in all of baseball. And then Texas, but it would be smart for Atlanta to move Murphy.
Yeah.
Got some more on here if you want to go through them.
No, that's the top 20. I mean, we've gone on for the past 15 minutes to the top 20. I think we hit the
okay. Adolis Garcia is a name on this list.
Key Brian Hayes too.
I'm telling you, I want the Yankees to trade for him.
You are the Hayes commander.
I am
commander.
Adolis, you think he gets traded?
Probably not. I think the Rangers got one more run in them left. I think the Rangers are going to be surprising when they come out the break. They're going to strike gold when they come out.
Yeah,
Ryan, they just haven't been healthy. Seager hasn't been healthy. Just Simeon wasn't good. Simeon's picked it up. Seager's getting hot. I think they're going to be a team to watch in the second half.
McMahon, Bird, Colorado, both moving.
Bro, who knows with Colorado? To be honest, Colorado. I mean, the only sensible thing they've done in the past 5 years of the franchise is draft Chase Dollander, Charlie Condon, and Ethan Holiday. Just draft BPA. So, I mean, everything else is whatever. Who knows?
Any surprise? Luis Robert? I mean, we haven't talked about him.
I mean, let's just go with the rumors. I mean, Luis Robert has 8 teams interested in him. You got the Mets, Mariners, Dodgers, Padres, and Royals all in on him. Damn near a third of the league wants Mr. Robert. I mean, it'll be interesting. I have no idea what's going to happen with him because he's not played well. And I mean, his value is on the floor, and we don't know what they're going to get back for him. So,
at what point is it with Robert? At what point is it the guy just needs a change of scenery? I mean, he's been in Chicago his whole career. He's had good seasons. He hasn't been good the past 2 seasons. He was an all-star in 2023, hit 38 home runs in 2023 with 20 stolen bases and 857 OPS. The talent is there. He's been dealing with injury the last 2 seasons. At some point, I just think it's this guy just wants to be on a winning baseball team. So, he's under team control. I think he's got a couple club options on there. I think the White Sox should move on from the dude. I mean, they should. Benintendi's having finally a better season. I think the White Sox should try to trade him. He's the guy that they gave the highest contract, the biggest contract in franchise history when they signed him. So I don't know. I think it would make sense for the White Sox to move on from Robert. And I think, yes, he's struggling this season, but I do think if you throw him out in LA with the Dodgers, if you throw him, I don't know, in Philly, they need outfield help. I think it would be good. I mean, you put him in a good lineup for one. He's got more protection in the lineup. I think it would make sense. I think he would probably play better. I feel the same way about Key Brian Hayes. We don't need to get into that. I've already talked enough about him, but I do think just a change of scenery for Luis Robert would be a good thing.
Yeah. Let's run through some trade rumors. I mean, we ran through most of them. The Diamondbacks have made Eugenio Suárez, Zach Gallen, and Merrill Kelly available with Josh Naylor as well. We talked about the Braves already. Then the Phillies are hoping to acquire Jhoan Duran or Griffin Jacks. Tigers, Cubs, Dodgers, and Reds are also interested in the reliever pair. Thoughts on that one? I mean, that's on brand for Philadelphia. Big fish.
Philly desperately needs bullpen help. It's no secret. So if they could get both of them, that'd be nasty. But yeah, Philly. Don't be surprised if the Phillies trade for Mason Miller. Just say that.
I think the Blue Jays. I think this is the one I really like. Blue Jays getting Zach Gallen. I think the Blue Jays are going to be really aggressive this year. Blue Jays are going to go for it. They've always been aggressive in free agency, and I think this is going to be their move to get Gallen, show him around Canada for the next 12 weeks, and hopefully that leaves a good taste in his mouth for him to re-sign on a contract this offseason. I think that's going to be their move. I think Gallen does end up in Toronto, and I think Toronto will be very. I think Toronto's going to be one of the more aggressive buyers this deadline.
Okay.
Eugenio Suárez and Josh Naylor are linked to the Mariners. Oh, by the way, all these are Bob Nightingale. He's reported these. You also have the Rays. The Rays are listening on Taj Bradley, which pretty on brand for the Rays. Get assets, sell high if you can. They do a good job on talent evaluation. Zach Eflin on the Orioles are available, and barring a win streak, Charlie Morton and Tomoyuki Sugano will be expected to get traded for the deadline. Thoughts on that?
They should. Yeah. I mean, Sagano came in first year in the majors coming over from Japan, and he's been solid. So, yeah, I think they should move him for sure.
I hope Sagano ends up in San Diego. I think he'd be a San Diego pitcher, a West Coast pitcher.
Yeah.
Like definitely. I was thinking the Dodgers, but the Dodgers have like too many arms. Like Blake Snell's throwing rehab, so we'll see. What else we got? Sandy Alcantara's not a lock. Bob Nightingale, then Dennis Lin from The Athletic said that the Padres are interested in Jhoan Duran. Like I said earlier, that GMs think that most of the deals that happen are for free agents to be. Owen Cassey and Harry Ford are probably the most likely high-rated prospects to get moved. Owen Cassey for the Cubs, Harry Ford for the Mariners. Makes sense for both teams. Owen Cassey's an outfielder. Outfield in Chicago is pretty filled up. And Harry Ford is a catcher. Doesn't look like he'll be catching anytime soon up there in Seattle. And that's pretty much it. A's not moving Brett Rooker. We talked about it earlier. And then Byron Buxton saying that he's a Twin for the rest of his life because of the no trade clause. Said at the All-Star game, said it to the Minneapolis Star-Tribune.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Which is unfortunate.
Which remains to be seen. It'll be a fun 2 weeks. I feel like this next week coming up will be a very good week to see what happens with the trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest thing that happens in the regular season of baseball, besides obviously the actual games. So it's always a lot of eyeballs on it. I said earlier, I feel like there's going to be a surprise trade this season. We'll see. Last year's trade deadline was very disappointing. So I hope there's some big names moved. Hopefully some of these teams that are kind of hovering in the middle zone right now start out slowly and end up being sellers, because that makes the trade deadline more important or more interesting. What about Luis Severino? Last name. We know he said all that crap about the ballpark out there in Sacramento.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. That contract is not that great. So I have no idea who would take that. I think you go get – I would rather have Sagano than Severino.
Yeah, because he's – what's the contract on Sagano? I don't know. No.
I just like Sagano, how he pitches. Sagano will give you 5 to 6 innings.
No walks.
No walk. He's a central block pitcher. He'll give you 5 to 6 innings. He'll get you to your bullpen.
That's your Cardinals trade right there.
No, I think it's Adrian Hauser.
Okay. Yeah, Adrian Hauser will be moved.
Sagano would have been the perfect pitcher for the Royals when they went on their World Series run. Because the Royals World Series run, all their starting staff would do is just get 5 to 6 innings and then hand it to the relievers. And they would do the rest. So
that was a good team.
That was a good team. So, but yeah. Anything else from you today?
I mean, that's it. This is our trade deadline preview. Again, obviously, we'll be talking about the rumor mill and everything over the next coming weeks, and then we'll have our full trade deadline recap when it happens on the 31st. A lot will change between now and then, but we figured this was a good time to get it done because we got a little bit of a break. But baseball returns on Friday, so we got 2 days off. But I'm ready. Yankees are in Atlanta, and I'm ready to. I'm missing baseball right now.
Let's get ready. Back to Atlanta. So,
you got anything else, or that's it?
That's it for me today. Make sure you subscribe to the Instagram on YouTube. We're at 95 subscribers on YouTube, trying to get to 100 before the end of the MLB season. Make sure you follow our Instagram page, like, comment, and review on all social media platforms at Locked In Sports Podcast. Anything else? William with the Substack article coming soon.
He's going to say that every episode for the rest of the season. Hit the subscribe button on the TikTok as well, or the follow button, whatever. Thanks as always for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed your All-Star breaks. Hope you're enjoying your summers. We'll be back on Sunday evening or Monday morning for our next episode, recapping the weekend of baseball, the first weekend of the second half. From my good friend over there, Luis Barranco, I'm William Locke. We'll catch you guys then. Peace out.